Well, Senator, thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program tonight. It's a real pleasure getting a chance to talk with you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You had an op-ed in the San Antonio paper talking about the campus carry bill that has been introduced in Texas. You are the chief sponsor of this, right?
I am.
And why was it so important for you that this campus carry bill get introduced?
It came about as a direct result of the Virginia Tech tragedy, and I sat there reading about that and thought, I do not want to wake up some morning in Texas as a member of the Texas Senate having read about a similar incident occurring on a college campus in my state when I could have done something about it. So I introduced a bill that would allow licensed concealed carry folks to go into campus buildings, which is currently not allowed under Texas law.
They can be on campus, as you say, but you can't actually go in a building.
That's correct. You're not allowed to go into a classroom building or a residence hall. Of course, classroom building is exactly where that deranged suicidal guy at Virginia Tech went, because as deranged as they are, I believe they're not stupid, and they know that that's a victim zone. They like to call it a gun-free zone, but I call it a victim zone.
Well, you're not the only one, including some college students. I mean, we've talked with some students in Texas who are very supportive of this legislation. Obviously, you have the group Students for Concealed Carry on Campus, which is supportive of the campus carry measures. And if I remember correctly, the last legislative session in Texas, which was 2 years ago, similar legislation had the support of a majority of the House, but it kind of got caught up in the end of the session crunch.
Your memory is exactly correct. I authored the bill in the Senate. We got it out of the Senate, got it over to the House, and then along with the scores of bills that were defeated at the very end because of the logjam about voter ID.
Okay. So are you anticipating smoother sailing this session?
Yes, I am, in fact.
Yeah, well, that's very good to hear. Now, where is the bill right now in the legislative process?
It's been referred in the Senate to the Criminal Justice Committee. It hasn't been referred yet in the House simply because committee assignments have not yet been made, but as soon as committees are formed, I'm sure the Speaker will begin referring bills to committees. Representative Joe Driver is the principal author in the House again, and he's been joined by any number of other members of the House, including a bunch of the new. We've got about 35 or so new members of the Texas House this year, and a bunch of them have come on very enthusiastically in favor of that bill.
That's fantastic. I mean, should your colleagues be hearing from gun owners right now? Should we be making these calls?
You bet. You bet. Call your senator. Call your state rep.
All right. And are you expecting? I think there are probably only 4 or 5 folks that ever show up at the Capitol in Texas to argue against Second Amendment legislation. But are you anticipating? In this case, university presidents, college officials coming out and trying to scuttle this bill?
Some will, but some will not. I've gotten some of the most enthusiastic supporters have been actually college professors. In addition to students, one of the interesting arguments that is used against the bill is that, Wentworth just wants to arm all these kids. Well, in Texas, you have to be at least 21 years of age to be licensed. So if you're a traditional freshman, sophomore, or junior at age 17, 18, 19, or 20, you're not eligible for one of these licenses. We're targeting principally faculty, staff, graduate students, and some seniors. And I've heard some college professors say that, they just really didn't want to see guns allowed in their classrooms. That would just be terrible. They'd be quite frightened and all this sort of stuff. Well, those very same people are walking among them as they're shopping at the grocery store or going to a movie or at a shopping mall. Mm-hmm. They just don't know it because they're concealed, and they'd be concealed in a campus environment as well.
Absolutely. It's a great point. And, I have a feeling if you tell that to too many faculty members, though, Senator, one of them is just going to lock themselves in their home and refuse to leave.
Well, in that case, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Hey, Senator, thank you again, sir, for joining us on the program, and I look forward to touching base with you as the bills start making their way through the legislative process.
I look forward to it as well.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Try to stay warm.
Thank you. I'll do it.
State Senator Jeff Wentworth joining us from the Lone Star State here on Cam and Company.